technically and how the Vedic words are derived scientifically. That was the subject we were discussing. So let us continue and familiarize ourselves with many more Vedic words, and let us improve our Vedic vocabulary. So once we are familiar with this Vedic vocabulary, then it becomes very easy for us to understand the hymns, the Vedic hymns, the Veda mantras. So today I am taking a few words. The first word I am taking is Raya. 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 If you are writing it in English, you can write as R-A-Y-A or R-A-Y-A-A. Don't know. We do have some problems with English while we are translating or transliterating. Or writing it in phonetics also, it's a bit difficult. Okay. Raya. As I was discussing when we were trying to learn the word Asura, I was telling that Ra, Dane, that is the root of the word. Ra, Dane. So the same Ra, Dane also is here in this Raya. That is, that which is worthy of giving, or that which is worthy of taking. When there is giving, the other end is taking. That is called as Raya. Ra, Dane is the root. So finally what it means is, Raya means wealth. Wealth is worthy to be given from one end, and that which is worthy to be received on the other end, that is called as wealth. Raya means wealth. So we find many mantras where they use this word Raya, meaning wealth. Why it is wealth? Because it is worthy of giving. If you give something which is unworthy, it is not called Raya. Or whatever we give has to be worthy of giving, and that is to be Raya. In either way you can understand it. Now another very important Vedic concept I am introducing here. It is not just Raya. Many a time they use the word Rayas Posha. Rayas Posha. It's a combination of two words, Raya plus Posha. Raya, as I am telling just now, it is Radane. And Posha, it has got a root called as Pusha Pushtau. Pusha Pushtau. Shah ಹೇಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀರಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀರಾ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀರಾ?
ನಾವು ದೇವನಾಗರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿತೇವೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ.
ದೇವನಾಗರಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಈ ಎರಡನೇ ಶಾ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು.
ಷಣ್ಮುಖ.
ಪುಷ. ಆ ಎರಡನೇ ಶಾ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಶಾ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಶಾ is called as Talavya. I will explain what Talavya is later. And the second shah is called as Murdhanya. That is a technical name to understand the difference between the two. Shah is Shankara Shah, ಮೊದಲನೇದು Talavya. ಎರಡನೇ ಶಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ, that is Shatpadi Shah. So Shatpadi Shah is Murdhanya. So here we are discussing about this Rayas Posha. So that is Posha. Shah is Murdhanya, second Shah. English ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರೀತೀರಾ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Unfortunately we have to write SHA for both. Or if you want to differentiate, if I am right, SHA and below that you put a dot, if I am right. Some people use that to distinguish between Shah and Shah. You please observe my pronunciation closely, then you'll note the difference. Shah. Shah is the first one, SH. Shah. Shah is the second one, SH, below that we put a dot. So Shah. Rayas Posha. Pusha Pushtau is the original root for it. Pushtau means that which gives us nourishment. ಈ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಷಣೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಪೋಷಣೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ, ನರಿಶಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ It is called as Pusha Pushtau. Now when we combine these two, that is, one is Raya and another one is Posha. Raya is wealth, of course, and Raya's Posha is that wealth which is capable of nourishing us. Now, generally we are under the impression that any wealth will nourish us. No. All wealth will not nourish us. All wealth will not give us happiness, peace of mind. Only that wealth which is earned in the right way gives us nourishment. So that concept is included in this combination of Raya's Posha. Wealth is fine, but wealth earned in the right way is Raya's Posha. If it is just Raya, it is wealth earned by hook or crook. In any way. So they are specific that if you earn it in the right way, by following the path of moral, yes, that is Raya's Posha. So human beings are instructed or recommended to earn their wealth in the right way. Vedas are not against wealth. Because some people say when we speak of Veda, it speaks of Vairagya and asks you to go out of your family and other things and be alone, do tapas, this and that. That's all not true. Vedas are very clear that we have to be wealthy, we have to be rich, we have to be affluent, but the path to earn all of them should be Raya's Posha. So they recommend Raya's Posha, not just Raya. So that is the Vedic concept. So it is not just a word, but it is an instruction as to how we should lead our life and with which path to take to earn our wealth. Raya's Posha. And this very thing is used in Saptapadi. You are familiar with Saptapadi? Saptapadi.
Yes.
During marriage they perform taking of 7 steps.
Yes.
So in that, the third step they stress on this. Before a person gets into family fold or grihasthashrama, they take 7 steps. The third step it says, Rayas Poshaya Tripadi Bhava. So we are taking the third step, that is husband and wife. They are not yet husband and wife, they are bride and groom. So in the third step, they come to an understanding that we shall earn wealth in the right way and have the wealth that nourishes us, that supports us. And it's a very important thing. It has got many facets to understand it. When we earn the wealth in the right way, that will be under our control. While earning also and while spending also. But if you earn it by hook or crook, or if you are ready to do anything to earn wealth, then the wealth what we earn also will not be under our control, and what we spend also will not be under our control, and it goes to lawyers, doctors, hospitals without our control. So we will not be able to enjoy that wealth. It is just Raya. But it is Raya's Posha, yes, it's perfectly under our control. Whatever I want to do with that, I can do it. So all these concepts are included in that word Raya's Posha. Raya, Raya's Posha. Sometimes they speak of Raya also without that Posha, but when they speak of Raya without Posha, they add one concept to it. That is, we should be masters of wealth. Vayam Syama Patayo Rayinam. This is a piece of the Veda mantra. We shall become masters of wealth. So in this piece of mantra, they use the only word Raya. But immediately along with that, they say, we have to be masters of it. So when you say masters of Raya, there is nothing but Raya's Posha in meaning. But nowadays we find people are slaves to wealth. Slaves to wealth. That is, I want wealth, I am prepared to do anything. good or bad. That means we have become slaves. But it says we have to be masters of wealth, that is equivalent to Raya's Posha. So when they use only Raya, they are very particular that we should be masters. When they use Raya's Posha, they need not give any explanation. It's very clear that we have to earn, and that earning should definitely nourish us. So these are some subtle differences between words. You should be very clear about it. It's not just wealth. Raya, Raya's Posha. Okay. Then you have heard two words, mostly out of history. That is Arya and Dravida. You have heard it?
Yes.
Very clear. Arya and Dravida. And in the history, we study even today, unfortunately, Aryans came from Central Asia and invaded India. And the natives of India were called as Dravida. And they were pushed down to South India. And speak only keeping in mind the Indian history. They were pushed down to the South India. And the people who live in South India, they are all Dravidas, the natives. And those who live in North India, they are all invaders called Aryans. But this whole piece of history is not true. It's a concoction by the Britishers. And you know the rule what they follow, Britishers, divide and rule. So they wanted to divide the whole of India into two parts and to create fight between the two parts, discrimination between the two parts. And they propounded this theory. That is, those who are in the North India, they are all Aryans. Those who are in the South India, they are Dravidas. And even today we find there is a fight between the two in India. So it's a poisonous seed that they have sown. And even today we are not able to overcome it. But if you study Vedas in the right way, if you understand the Vedic concept, within a minute the whole concept goes out. How? Now the first one is Arya, that's the word. As I've been telling, every word is derived and it will have a root at its base. So when I'm speaking of this Arya, the basic root of it is, the original form of the word Arya is Ru Gatau. Ru Gatau. Now that Ru is, it's a vowel, R. So again, coming to English and writing in English is difficult. They write RU for Ru as well as R. R is a vowel, another Ru is a consonant. Once again, you have to put a dot to understand it as a vowel. RU, a dot below that. That is a vowel. R. R Gatau. ಈ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇವು ಋ ಬರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಆರು ನಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಋ ಗತವ್ ಸ್ವರ. So from that ಋ ಗತವ್ we have got this Arya. The word is derived after several steps, logically, scientifically, according to rules of grammar. So ultimately Arya means one who is progressive. One who is progressive is called as an Arya. Arya is not a race, as misunderstood today. Arya is not a clan. Arya is not a caste. Or Arya we cannot restrict it to even a nation. Anybody who has got a progressive thought is called as an Arya. Another meaning also is attached to it. Arya means a gentle person. If you find a gentle person in any corner of the world, Veda says he is an Arya. He need not be from Central Asia. He could be from anywhere. He could be from a corner of Africa also. If he is a gentleman, if he is a gentle person, if she is a gentle lady, yes. Aryaha is masculine, Arya is feminine. They are called Arya. That is, the meaning of the word Arya is so wide. But the Britishers distorted it and reduced it to a particular race or clan from Central Asia and spoiled the whole situation. They have to come out of it. In Vedas, they define Arya like this. Arya Jyotiragraha. This is a piece of the Veda mantra. Arya Jyotiragraha. Jyoti means light. It's not the physical light they are speaking of here, is the light of knowledge. Jnana Jyoti. Agraha means which is in front. Those who keep in front of them are guided by the light of knowledge. He is called as an Arya. There is a perfect definition from Vedas. So in short, that's what I said, progressive. Progressive. Arya Jyotiragraha. So now, when I use the word Arya, now all distortions should go out and the basic meaning of the word should come to our mind. It's a gentle person who is progressive and who is guided by the light of wisdom, the light of knowledge. He is called as an Arya. He could be anywhere. It is not a race or a clan, I repeat. Now I will come to the other word, Dravida. We have in any language, this is a discussion that goes in linguistics. That is, the words what we use, original words, get transformed or get mutated and take other forms. This we call it as Tatsama Tadbhava. Tatsama Tadbhava. Sometimes when it passes on from one language to another language, the word as it is will be taken. Sometimes it undergoes some change and takes a shape differently in other language. So it is almost the same, we call it as Tatsama. If some changes have taken place, we call it as Tadbhava. Tadbhava means which has come out of this word. So this Dravida what we have got is such a Tadbhava. It's not the original word, but while coming to that language, the local language, it has undergone some change. So what is its original shape? So the original shape of the word Dravida is Dramila. Dramila. Dramila is the original shape. So once again, Dramila, I don't know how to write it in English. L-A. L is La as well as La. Once again, put a dot below it to understand it as La. Dramila. Out of Dramila, by force of convention and usage, it has been converted into Dravida. So I am going to a step backwards. A shape of the word, a step backwards, and Dravida is originally Dramila. Now how this Dramila has come? Now I can get a root for it. For Dravida directly I cannot get it. I have to go a step back and then go to the root. So there, Dramila has come from a dhatu or a root called Drilgatau. Drilgatau. ತಿರುವಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ದಾಕೆ ಒಟ್ಟರು ಸುಳ್ಳಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಾರ ದೇವನಾಗರಿ ಒಳಗೆ ದೃಗತವು. Now please remember, just now I said the root for Arya. What was that root? For Arya? Rugatav. Now for Dramida? Drugatav. Now what's the difference between Arya and Dravida? See, the root is the same. The root for Arya also is Gata, one who is progressive. And the root for Dravida is also the same Dhruva Gata, the same progressive thing. We have got two words for meaning the same thing. That is one who is progressive, one who is gentle. It is very clear. The Vedic language makes it very clear. And in Vedas and different hymns, Veda mantras, we find the usage of the word Arya for progressive, Dramida for progressive. No confusion. Basically, both mean the same thing. Both mean the same thing. Both are progressive, both are gentle. I don't know who created the gap between the two. And say Arya and Dravida, they are enemies. They were invaded. All cock and bull story. When you understand them in the Vedic light, they mean the same thing. I think you're able to catch what I'm telling you.
Yes.
Is it clear to you?
Yes, it is clear.
The only question I have is,
Yes, sir.
Vedas have written thousands of years back, correct?
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand. So, how there was a reference to Arya, so I think going back to what you said, Arya was about being progressive, so that has nothing to do with clan and
Right.
Okay. So it is really the.
It's a later concoction. It's a later concoction, mainly by Britishers to divide and rule.
Got it.
Divide and rule. But basically, when I go back to the history of the two words, Arya and Dravida, in a Vedic light, they mean the same thing.
They mean the same thing.
Yes. If you call a gentle person as Arya, excellent. If you call the same gentle person as Dravida, wonderful. There's no difference at all. Arya.
I think the reason I asked, because it is so much in our head that Arya have invaded.
Yes.
Arya, that's what it relates to immediately,
Exactly.
rather than Arya being a gentle
Right,
person.
you are right. And that has caused a lot of problems in India during British rule. Lot of problems, not one or two. It's totally a distortion, and to be precise, they included this story in the Macaulay system of education. While teaching history, and the right word, if I am to use it, is they have brainwashed us.
Yeah.
They have brainwashed us. And any time when I hear the word Arya, immediately Aryan invasion comes to my mind. So much they have brainwashed.
And
It's not so.
unfortunately, the same thing being taught in schools even today.
Yes, that's what I said. Even today, we are following Macaulay system here. And we are all being brainwashed with this, untrue history. Untrue, distorted history. We have to come out of it. At least, we shall teach our children how it is and how Arya and Dravida, they are all one and the same. And at least even now you can bring in harmony between the two. By telling the truth based on scientific basis. They have got no basis for Aryan invasion. But to say Arya and Dravida, they are the same, this is the proof what I am giving you. Arya Rugatav, Dravida, one step backwards, Dramida, Drugatav. Same.
So just the way Arya is nothing to do with clan or
Yes.
clan. How about Dramid? Is that
No. It is the
nothing
same
to do
thing.
with clan?
Definitely not. One is progressive, is also Dravida. One is progressive, is also an Arya. You can call him an Arya, you can call him an Dravida, no difference. He is one who is progressive. One who is guided by the light of knowledge. Arya Jyotiragraha, that's a definition given in Veda itself. Arya Jyotiragraha. 1 second. I'll give you the exact location. I'll find it and give the exact location which Veda mantra that word is used. I'll give you the exact location because it should be perfect and we should have authority while speaking certain. I'll give you. It's available. Okay, then we'll continue. Here in Karnataka, for festivals, we use the word Habba. That is here in this language. That is Kannada language, we use the word Habba. But elsewhere in India, for a festival, we use the word Parva. Parva. Parva means a day of festival. A day when we celebrate it. That's called as a Parva. So shortly we are coming across this Deepavali Parva. Deepavali Parva. We just now had Dasara Parva. So like that, for festival, the word what is used is Parva. And a Tadbhava, a change has undertaken in that word Parva and has become Habba, and that is what we use in Kannada. So those who are familiar with Kannada, they can understand what Habba means. Habba is actually Parva. That's the basic word. Parva becomes Habba. And intermediary, there is one more word called Pabba. Pabba. In old Kannada, they use the word Pabba. So for those who are familiar with Kannada, Habba goes a step backward. Pabba go a step backward. Parva is common to all. That's the basic Vedic word, Parva. Now what is this festival? Generally we understand this Parva or festival as a day where we celebrate, we enjoy, we have sweets, do this puja, that puja, all these things we do it. That we call it as a festival. Anyway, festival is a common word throughout the world. So whenever there is a festival, okay, it's a day for us to celebrate and enjoy, to eat and drink and dance and so many things. But the word Parva doesn't mean that. We use that Parva in Vedas, we find that word. But the meaning is totally different. Parva has got its root or dhatu as pr. That is pa with that vowel r elongated r. Dirgha, elongated anta helbeka sir, illa English alli irli. Purana palanayoho. Purana palanayoho. Now these roots, what I am telling, they are not offhand. This I want you to remember always. The roots and the meanings attached to the roots, it is well defined and we have got a list of it and we call it as Dhatu Patha. It's not ambiguous. It's not just I concoct it and give it. No. It is researched and a complete list of it is there, is available, called as Dhatu Patha. I don't know whether it is available to you there or not. But here we do have the text of it, Dhatu Patha. And it is also a clear basis, a list, and out of the list only I am telling. Well defined. So, Purana Palana Yoho. So the meaning of it is that which fills up. Purana. Purana means to fill. So the question of filling comes when there is some scarcity. It's not full. So because it's not full, it has to be filled. That's the thing. Palana. Palana means that which nourishes. So which fills and nourishes. To express that meaning, I use the dhatu or root, pr. So from the pr comes parva. That's the word, derived word. As I have been telling, over steps with the definite rules of grammar. Now with this basic meaning of the root, Purana Palana, that is to fill and nourish. What should be the meaning of the word parva? Can we guess? Parva is an occasion. Parva is an occasion where we fill it up and nourish. We fill and nourish. Every one of us, we are short of something, this or that. We are not complete, we are not full. We do have our own shortcomings. So an occasion where those shortcomings are filled up for our nourishment, that very moment, that very day is a parva, is a festival. It need not be on a particular day. It need not be with our, say, grand dishes and other things. No. Here they mainly speak of what is to be filled, that is a gap what we have got in our knowledge and in our spirit. Adhyatmika we call it. So at the level of the soul, we do have many gaps. We do have many shortages. And these gaps and shortages are filled up. And when these are filled up, yes, that very moment and that very day is a festival, is a parva. And definitely it is not attached to any particular time or day. And the festivals what we are performing today is only an ostentation, is only a show. But we have to try our best to fill up our internal things, the gaps. You know this SWOT analysis, SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. That's a modern concept they use, the SWOT. So in that, when you overcome your W, that's weakness, that very moment or day is your parva, is a festival. Celebrating is different. But without overcoming our gap or weaknesses or shortcomings, if we celebrate, it has no meaning. Fine, we eat sweets and we enjoy, that's a different issue. But in the real sense, that is no parva, that is no festival. Now these festivities that we are seeing today, they are all attached to a day or time, but here it is attached to happening of an event. What is that event? That is filling up. Gaps are overcome, gaps are bridged. That's a parva. Any day is a festival when the gaps are filled up. There's got a wider connotation. Then they go one step forward. Please do this every day. Do something to overcome your shortcomings, to bridge your gaps, and every day is a festival. Yes. Celebrate it every day. That's it. Don't wait for any particular day. Every day is celebration. Now please understand the positive thing in that. That's the beauty of it. Every day is a celebration. That means every day I have to strive to fill up my gap, to overcome my shortcomings, to overcome my weaknesses. Every day, every moment. The whole life is a celebration. This is a concept what they were propound in the Vedas. And all this is in a capsule form in that word called parva. That word parva says all these things. Okay, then we have got two more words. One is called as Daitya. Daitya you have heard?
Yes.
You are familiar with that word Daitya?
Yes.
Now what do you understand?
Rakshasa.
Daitya.
Rakshasa.
Rakshasa, okay, fine. Now why he is called as a Daitya? That's the beauty of it. Now, you must be familiar by this time that whenever I am trying to explain a word, we immediately go to the root and from there we start.
Yes.
So that you should be very, very familiar and very strong when you are trying to understand Vedas. It helps you in two ways. If you are studying Veda, you will start at the right point and get the right meaning of the Veda mantra. If somebody is explaining a Veda mantra, you can also understand whether they are on the right track or not. Because if they explain about Veda starting from the root, yes, they are on the right track. They cannot miss. If they just explain, if they just interpret, if they just lecture about it, without touching the root, yes, we have to be skeptical. There could be something wrong, we don't know. We cannot assure the accuracy of it. So every time, we should make it a point to go to the root. Even when I'm telling something, when I'm explaining something, if I miss the root, you should immediately ask me, what is the root of the word, what you are telling? You first tell it and then explain. You should be so cautious, and that is a process that we have to understand very clearly. Okay, Daitya. So understand it as a demon. Why is it demon? Why is called as a demon? Why is called as a Rakshasa or something like that? Go to the root. The root says, Do avakhandane. Do avakhandane. Generally, when I speak of a Rakshasa or Asura, once again, the brainwashing part I am telling you. So what happens is, we imagine a person who is gigantic, black, with horns, so many things. That's what we imagine as a Rakshasa. But let us see what it is. Do avakhandane. Avakhandana means split. Avakhandana means split. So if I got the concept as a split in my mind, then immediately I start deriving a word starting from do. So from do, I derive a word, and one word I arrive it is called as diti. Diti. Diti is something which is split. And the abstract noun of diti is daitya, or the noun form of it. Diti is something which is split, and one who is split is called as a daitya. Now can you guess what is the split?
Split personalities?
Exactly. Exactly. One with a split personality is called as daitya. Now how do you understand split also? They are very clear. We have got three things. One is we think. The second thing is we speak. Third thing is we act. We have got think, speak and act. Now if all the three, thinking, speaking and acting, if all the three are divergent, this we call it as a split personality, and he is a daitya. He thinks something, speaks something, does something else. This is daitya. He need not be gigantic. He need not be black. He need not have those weapons and other things, nothing else. If a person is divergent in his thoughts, words and action, he is a daitya. One who is a cheat, one is not worthy to be believed. Because what he says is something, what he does is something. There is no coherence. He is called as a daitya. Now the opposite of it, for diti, opposite is aditi. Aditi. I is for generally negating it. Aditi is one who doesn't have split personality and whose thoughts, words and actions converge. They are the same. They think the same and they talk the same and they do the same. So that is called as aditi. And the noun form of it or abstract noun of it is aditya. Aditya. Generally, Aditya, we understand it as sun god. But the actual meaning of it is a person whose thoughts, words and actions are convergent, and you can call that person as an honest person. So an honest person is called as Aditya. Of course, Aditya also means sun, I am not denying it. But the main meaning, the core meaning of the word Aditya is one who is honest, whose words, whose thoughts, whose actions are convergent. He is called as an Aditya. We find this word Aditya used in many places in Vedas in this sense of a person who is honest, who is reliable, whom we can place our belief in. He is an Aditya. And of course, for us, they give us a goal, become Adityas. Fine. Don't become Daityas, become Adityas. Now, if I am right, you should have felt by this time that the usual meanings attached to these words, whatever we have been discussing since the first class and onwards, the usual meanings attached to them are not scientific or not Vedic. But when you look at it from the Vedic grammar point of view, the derivation point of view, and from the root point of view, yes, the words mean something different but profound. I think you are able to understand the word profound, sublime. Such meanings we have got. And when every word in the Veda is of this type, then you should be able to understand the sanctity or greatness of Vedas. Every word is like that. The conventional meaning is okay for our daily routine life. But the scientific meaning of the word will make things precise, will make things more obvious and closer to truth. And you should have observed also by this time that the meanings of these words, what we have been discussing, they are all so wide and never narrow in application. So wide. Just for example, Arya. When you say Arya is a gentle person, it becomes so wide. When you call Arya as a clan, yes, it is narrowed down. So narrowed down things are not there in Vedas. They always speak of widest things applicable to all, anywhere, any corner of the universe. That's how they speak of. That's a style of Veda. Okay, now let us continue with one more basic thing which you have to understand, because we come across it again and again. That is, when you speak of certain things, okay, we all have got some faith in Vedas, or maybe our cultural roots are in India and its ancient hoary culture. Okay, fine. Our outlook towards Veda is something different. But when you speak of other people who doesn't have this background, they are always skeptical about what we say. And they always say, what is the proof for this? Okay, you are telling something, what is the proof for this? How do you substantiate it? This is a common question we come across. Now when we are speaking of proof, in India they have developed one Shastra called as Nyaya Shastra. Nyaya Shastra. Or we also call it as Nyaya Darshana. It's not Veda Samhita, what I was telling in the earlier thing. It is based on that. It's a branch of knowledge developed later. Nyaya Darshana. And one authoritative book on Nyaya Darshana is by Gautama. Gautama is understood as the author of this Nyaya Darshana. And we have got another name for Gautama. That's a beautiful thing. He is also called as Akshapada. Gautama is also called as Akshapada. Can you guess the meaning of the word Akshapada?
Unlimited?
No. One who has got eyes in his legs, in his toes. That means he is so careful. He never stumbles at any place. He never stumbles because he has got eyes in his legs, the foot, the toes. That is Akshapada. Of course, it is figurative, not actual. It's figure. That is, he is so careful while explaining his things, while explaining his Shastra. He is so careful. He never stumbles at any place. So there he speaks of proof and how we have to understand a certain thing is authentic, is true, based on his techniques of proof. So we should be familiar with that. He says, proofs are of three types. They should be very clear. This is a very important basic thing we have to understand. Scientific. We have got three types of proofs. Number one, the first one, the technical name for it he gives us as Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha. And the closest English translation and give it for it is direct cognition. Direct cognition. That is, it is a type of a proof where I personally experience it with my own sense organs. That's direct cognition. If you say it is there, I don't believe. I have to see with my own eyes. Then I agree it is there. It's the same thing. If it is not there, you have to show me. It is not there, and only when I see, I will accept it. And he extended it to all the other sense organs. If you say it is sweet, I don't believe. I should taste with my own tongue and experience that it is sweet. Then I say, okay, I agree, it is sweet. If something I listen only, I appreciate it. I say it is true. If I am not able to listen, I say that sound is not there. It's a very hard rule for proof. If you say it is there, I should be able to touch it and experience. If I am able to touch it and experience, yes, it is there. If I am not able to touch, it is not there. Simple. This we call it as direct cognition or pratyaksha. Or pratyaksha pramana. Pramana is equivalent to proof. It's called as a pratyaksha proof or pratyaksha pramana, or we call it as direct cognition. Now if you observe a little, most 99.9% of modern science is based on this. If you tell them something, or if some scientist is telling something, he has to prove it. How? He has to bring it to our sensual experience. If it is brought, then only we accept. If it is not brought, we will not. Bacteria is there. I cannot see with my eyes. So it is not there. So he says, now go through a microscope. Now you are able to see bacteria. Yes, it is there. If I am not able to show it on microscope, it is not there. It could be nanotechnology also. But nanotechnology also has to be proved. How do you prove it? Once again, pratyaksha pramana. You have got instruments, we have developed instruments where even those nano machineries can be observed and get the work done. Yes, it is there. If you are not able to show it to any of these sense organs, it is not there. We don't agree. That's simple. This we call it as direct cognition or pratyaksha pramana. Now the next step is, this pratyaksha pramana has got its own limitation. It cannot reveal 100% truth. To be clear, not even 50%. One simple argument they give. Have you seen your eyes? No. Therefore you don't have eyes. Simple. Now this argument itself seems foolish. But if you rely upon, if you depend upon only direct cognition, only pratyaksha pramana, then this is the result what we get. We have not seen our backs, so we don't have a back. What we see, we believe. What we hear, we believe. If I am not able to experience it through any of my sense organs, it's not there. So it has got its own limitation. Now in the Shastra, he goes ahead and says, forward, and he says, certain things, of course, it depends on direct cognition, excellent, we agree. But because of its limitation, we have to go for another method of proof, which is able to reveal truth, which is able to establish truth. And the second one, he calls it as anumana. That's a technical word, anumana. And the closest English translation I can give it is inference. Anumana or inference. ಇವಾಗ ಅನುಮಾನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಪದ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ?
ಡೌಟ್, ಸಂಶಯ ಅಂತ.
ಸಂಶಯ, ಡೌಟ್ ಅಂತಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ರೂಢಿಯೊಳಗೆ ನಾವೇನೋ ಅನುಮಾನ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದೇರ್. ಅನುಮಾನ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅನು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಮಾನ. ಮಾನ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಮೆಷರಿಂಗ್. Measuring. Mana is measuring. We measure, we understand. Anu is secondary measure, which follows. Anu means that which follows. So it's a measurement which follows. Anumana actually means measure that follows. Follows what? Follows the first one. That first one is the direct cognition, what I have discussed. So Anumana is dependent on the first one. It is an extension of the first direct cognition. It's an extension. First we have got direct cognition. Because it has got its own limitation, I just extend it beyond, and that the extension and the measure beyond that is called as Anumana. In English, you can understand as inference. We infer. So what we infer need not be experienced by the sense organs. But if I do the process of inference correctly, yes, it can reveal truth. It can authenticate. So one classic example they give for this. Say there is a hillock. There I am able to see the smoke. And now I infer that there is fire. I am not able to see fire. Fire is not a subject of my direct cognition. I am not able to see it, I am not able to experience it. But I infer there is fire based on the smoke. So what is the basis for you? We have seen always wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Wherever there is fire, smoke, there is fire. This way I have seen in all other places. So we are able to conclude that the relationship between smoke and fire is inseparable. You don't find smoke without fire. This we have observed elsewhere. So this comes under direct cognition. Now based on this direct cognition, I find out a relationship, infallible relationship, guaranteed relationship between smoke and fire. Now I am very clear that wherever I see smoke, I can simply infer fire without failure, and it will be perfect. Because of that inseparable relationship between smoke and fire, which is a subject of direct cognition. So that is Anumana. Based on direct cognition, I am doing the conclusion. I am arriving the conclusion. This is a classic example they give in different Shastras for this Anumana. So this we call it as inference. So to put it in simple words, 2 plus 2 equals 4. 1, 2 is visible, another 2 is not visible, but because answer is 4, the other should be 2 only. 2 plus 2 equal to 4. But of course, we do have an exception for 2 plus 2 equal to 4 also in the modern management techniques. They call it as synergy. 2 plus 2 is equal to 5, they say. You must be familiar with that. Synergy. Synergy is also a combination towards synchronized energy. When 2-3 people together synchronize their energies, it exceeds their individual contribution. Say if I do it alone, it is 2. If somebody does it alone, it is 2. But if we together do it, 2 plus 2 is 5. That is the force of working together. This is what they call it as synergy, modern science. Okay, that's only just a piece of information. But these things was known. They might not have used the word synergy, but in Vedic concept, they always stress on one particular word that is called sam. Sa and 1 0. That is some anuswara, we call it as sam. In English, you can write it as SAM. But be careful, somebody may read it as Sam also. Sam means together. There is a lot of stress, emphasis in Vedas in this sam. Do it together, don't do it alone, do it together, the stress. Now the reason is very clear. When you do it together, the final result is more than the sum of individual contributions. That is synergy. They were very familiar with that. I can give hundreds of examples where they use the word sum. They are very particular. And of course it goes with our nature. All human beings, we are social beings. If we are left alone, we become mad. We should have a company, we want a society, and only with other living beings like us only we can live comfortably. That's why you should be knowing. The greatest punishment that they give in penal code is hanging, capital punishment. The very next serious punishment they give is solitary confinement. Leaving them alone. They will not be able to have any contact with any other person. They are put in a cell and totally kept aloof. It's a great punishment. Next to capital punishment. Some is a totally different concept. We always work together. We always live together. We always think together. We always worship together. We always do things together. So the togetherness is called as sum. That is synergy of modern science. But thought of and emphasized thousands of years back in Vedas. And as we go on studying Veda mantras, I'll reiterate this point of sum and show you where they have used sum. So working together is sum. So we are discussing about this Anumana. From there we diverge a little. Anumana is a type of proof. It is also a valid type of proof where we decide whether it is true or not. But of course it's based on Anu. Anu means based on or followed.
Karnataka Bank ge Sudhakara NS anta kottidya, Sudhakara Sharma anta kottidya.
Sudhakara Sharma Corporation Bank.
NS bari Sudhakara NS.
So Anumana inference is also a type of proof. Most of the things, of course, is Pratyaksha. If Pratyaksha is not possible, then we may go to inference also. It is also a valid type of proof. So whenever we want to prove something, maybe for ourselves, for others, we first give a preference to direct cognition. If not, when we come to the limits of it, we extend ourselves to the Anumana Pramana and come to a conclusion. Then the third one is also there, because this Anumana Pramana also has got some limitation, because it has got its roots in Pratyaksha Pramana, which is limited. We can extend a little, of course, but not to everything. Even a part of the truth may be left uncovered, even with this inference. So then we go to the third one. We go to the third method of proof. It is called as Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana. It is sometimes also referred to as Agama Pramana. Agama Pramana. Shabda Pramana or Agama Pramana. Now what does this mean? To put it in simple words, it is words of the wise. Words of the wise. It is also called as Aptavakya. Shabda Pramana, Agama Pramana, Aptavakya. So the nearest English translation for it is words of the wise. When you got wise people are Apta. Apta is equal to wise. So when you got an Apta, and whatever he says or she says, that wise person, whatever that wise person says, we also take it as proof. We also take it as proof. Because I am not able to find the truth based on Pratyaksha Pramana. I am not able to find anything using Anumana Pramana. Now, the third one, which covers everything, that is Aptavakya, or the words of the wise. Now, who is wise? Who is Apta? For me, X is Apta. For Y, they don't believe X. So how can it become an Aptavakya? How can it become a word that can be relied upon? So to define Apta, that also they have done. They say, Yathartha Vaktru, Yathartha Vaktru, Aptaha. They define. Yathartha Vaktru, Aptaha. Who is an Apta? He who speaks as it is. He who speaks as it is. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಇದ್ದದ್ದನ್ನು ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಾರೋ ಅಂತ. One who speaks as it is, he is called as an Apta. Now are you able to recognize this Apta? I have used a word for him already. Aditya. Are is okay. Are is okay. But the closest word is Aditya. Who is an Aditya? We have discussed. One whose thoughts, words and actions converge. An honest person. He is an Apta. And Aditya, if he speaks, yes, we can rely upon his words. If an Aditya speaks, we can rely on his words. Now it is not difficult to find out whether a person is Aditya or not. Say X is there, whether he is an Aditya or not. Now what he thinks, I am not able to know. Because it is totally so internal. I am not able to see what he thinks. I am not able to find out what he thinks. But the other two are open for me. What he speaks and what he practices. This you can always verify with any person. It's possible. So, with the help of these two, what they speak, what they profess, and what they practice. If there is a correlation between the two, yes, you can consider that person as an Apta. If you speak something and do something, please note he is not an Aditya. Thought we assume because I am not able to see. It's inevitable for me. So, whenever we are able to find out an Apta on this scale, what they speak and what they do, if there is a correlation, yes, he is an Apta. So whatever an Apta says, we can rely upon it and take it as a proof. This is the third and the final proof what we have got. Here, one small point is there which you have to understand very correctly. Apta says something. He says, this is true, this is my experience, this is what I understand. Okay, excellent. Now what he says, an Apta, what he says should not be an Apta Vakya for him.
Okay.
Did you catch it?
Yeah. Okay.
What an Apta says should be
This Pratyaksha Pramana.
a direct cognition or inference, full stop. Apta Vakya cannot give another Apta Vakya as his Apta Vakya. You got the point?
Yes.
So when an Apta says, this is like this, it should have been his Pratyaksha Anubhava or at least Anumana Pramana. That's all. If he quotes another Apta Vakya and says this is Apta Vakya, now what's the word it's called as? Gossip. You see how they have defined it well. What is gossip? Gossip is only this.
Yeah.
Somebody said like this, I tell you like this. You tell something to somebody, somebody to somebody, it becomes a gossip. No truth in it. They have defined gossip like this. We know the word. But we should be able to identify what is truth, what is Apta Vakya, and what is gossip. Gossips cannot be taken as Apta Vakya. See, if when a person is there, a wise person is there, he says, this is what I am telling. Then immediately we should cross-verify. What you are telling, is it your first-hand experience? Or is it an inference that you have made? No, X said. Then please throw it out. It is no Apta Vakya. The person may be Apta, the person may be honest. But those words cannot be relied upon because those words are not an outcome of his direct cognition or inference. Of course, the right Apta will know this and he will not gossip. A right Apta or the right honest man, he will say, this is my experience, I am sharing it with you. This is my inference, I am sharing with you. That's all. He will not say, X said, I am telling you. No, he will not say. That's the another feature of a true Apta, a true honest man, a true Aditya. I think the subtleties we should be able to understand. That's the beauty of the whole subject. And all this he defines very well. That is Gautama or Akshapada. And these techniques we use. These techniques we use in our process of search for truth. While understanding the Vedas, these techniques we employ again and again. I have given just an example of it, explanation of it. Now how we apply it, okay. We will see in the coming classes. Lot of things are there where you have to apply this and distinguish between truth and untruth. Between the right and the wrong. These are the techniques that we have got. And if I am right, these techniques what they have given, they are ultimate. They are ultimate. Even in modern science also they use the same techniques. Either they experiment and find it out first hand, or based on the experiments they infer. Or third one also is there, based on the words or derivations of a scientist, which is direct and inference for him. If you go a step further, yes, there could be wrong things and there should be so many gossips getting in. You should be very clear about that. So I think today we'll stop at this. And in next class we'll go with many more words and understanding them properly. And of course, in the course of our discussion, we'll be seeing how these pramana vidhana, the methods of proofs, how to apply it and derive truth and distinguish clearly what is truth and untruth. Because most of the times, untruth comes with a garb of truth. It's very difficult for us to find out it is true or not. It appears so fantastic, it appears so believable, it appears so faithful, but it is only a garb on the outside. If you just remove it, the real truth will come out. So these three techniques, what I am telling you, now these will help us to disrobe untruth. Anyhow, we'll discuss further things. Thank you for the day.
Thank you.
Okay, good night. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.